We're at
You want to start over?
yeah,
We'll start over.
I don't even.
We're good. We're good. It's
We're totally
fine.
good. We're totally
Yeah.
fine. Yeah.
Yeah. You're good. Okay. We'll start over. Ready?
What's up, Sandy? How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. Merry Christmas and happy holidays to you.
Same to you.
Yeah,
You.
I don't know about you, but I'm definitely in the Christmas spirit. It's a little bit different for me this year, which we'll talk about. But I know in the pre-show we were kind of going back and forth about what Christmas means to each of us this year, because people come at the holidays from different perspectives based on life events and things going on. So talk to me about you and your family and what your plans are and what your philosophy is and all that cool stuff.
Oh yeah, great, great. I tell you, so Christmas is awesome. Christmas has a special meaning to me and my family and a lot of other believers too. And happy holidays to everyone and all that. And I think Christmas, we talk about gifts and presents, and like my grandkids, they're 4 and 5, and
Mhm.
they tell me what they want for Christmas.
They're
What,
so cute, by the way. I
thank you so
love the
much.
pictures you put on social.
Thank you. Thank you. They're amazing. They're amazing. So, we talk about, what do you want Santa to bring you? And there's this little number that you can call, and it's actually Santa, and they get to record what they want. And then there's another number that I call back, and it's Santa talking to them, repeating what they want, and they just love it and everything. So we'll have to put that in the show notes and everything, but it's kind of cool.
Yeah,
But so it's like
yeah.
they think about the gifts and the presents and all those things, but
Mhm.
it feels good to give gifts. It feels good to receive gifts, but sometimes, I think um, people might get more into the gifting, and they're like, oh my gosh, what can I get? What can I get? Or it's about this, and all this stuff, different things, and all that stuff. But I think the real present is being present and spending time with your loved ones, your family, your friends, and things like that. I think that's the greatest present that you can give your family and
Yeah,
the ones around you. So
yeah,
that's what I feel about that. But it
yeah,
is nice to get some gifts too. So
yeah. Well,
I got
sure.
my list for you. I'll give you my list. All right,
Oh,
Sandy.
yeah, please do. I'm ready.
It's this
And
big.
really, the only time of year I love to shop is Christmas time. So, just diving into presents a little bit, it can be a little cliche because people always say that, but what do you really do to be present when you're in a gathering with family or friends? What are some techniques you use to just really focus on that?
I just like when I see my cousins and nephews and all the family. I think when I'm looking at them, I think, wow, they've grown so much. I'm just thinking about how I would see them as they were younger,
Mm,
and how they developed. And so, number one, I'm thinking of that, and then I'm just asking, how are you doing? How are you doing? And
mhm,
anything that comes out of their mouth, I'm always like, that is great. That is so exciting because they're making progression, and I'm complimenting them, and I'm so genuinely into them because I'm excited because I see this little kid that was running around with me, and now it's an adult, and they're talking about getting their car fixed or doing those different things, and you're like, oh my gosh, you're doing so great, you're living life. And so it's kind of neat, and so it fuels me to know that I'm loved, to know that I love them and everything. And so that's what it's about, being present. Now, if I would have said, "Hey, here's a I don't know what the newest here's a boombox radio, here's a Soundcore speaker, really nice thing.
yeah,
Here's a gift for you here," it's just noise. That's
yeah.
just noise. So
So, what I heard you say in the story that you told essentially was you observe. So, you like observe the difference in them since the last time you saw them, and you take a moment to kind of reflect and let that anchor in, and you listen with intent to hear and learn what's going on in their lives, not to just respond. So, you like take a beat, right?
exactly.
And just really focus in on what they're sharing, and then you really celebrate the things that they're sharing with you and cheer them on, so you become their cheerleader. I mean, so
Mhm.
did I hear that right? I mean, I hate to break it down into a framework, but that's pretty much what you did.
That's exactly what I did, and that's exactly what I do. And I think it's reciprocal. Is that the word?
That was not a
Reciprocal.
sound effect on the recording. That was actually Chris doing that.
reciprocal. Uh, reciprocal. So no, I think it's great. I mean, I think it's like, just show your love and show your genuine interest in other people,
Mhm.
and we all want to win. We're all in this battle, and it's just that's why
Yeah.
we want to be happy on purpose.
Yeah. And it goes without saying, put your phone down. On the flip side, I'm a picture taker. So I always have my phone on and in my hands because I am always taking pictures. And people always tell me I never take enough pictures, but I take a lot of pictures, a ton of them. I probably overtake pictures, but those are things that you can look back on. So if you're going to have your phone in your hand, don't be looking at social media, take pictures. Don't be looking at texts. So be present and take pictures. Make people feel
Exactly.
beautiful and loved, right?
And it made me think of something. When people are at a concert and they're cheering on Luke Bryan or whoever the person is, everybody has their phones out and they're taking pictures and their video and they're getting that and they're like, oh my God, let me zoom in. That's a good one. That's a good shot and all that stuff. But are they actually present? Are
Mm,
they actually feeling that and experiencing the true art of the musician that's coming out, or are they more focused on trying to capture something? So it's kind of an interesting thing. So you have these people
yeah.
taking pictures and all that. So that just made me think of that in the concert.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a really good balancing thought to what I just said, because you're absolutely right. Take the pictures, but don't forget to zoom in a human way on the people that you're with. I love
Exactly.
that.
Right
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, we need to
Cool.
make a little quote card and put Chris Booth under that quote.
There
I
we
love
go.
it. I
But
love
I'll forget what the quote is. I'll be like, I forgot. I don't
it. Well, thank goodness we have a recording.
know. Exactly. I know.
Right.
I know. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Well, I mean, we were talking and, ahead of getting on the recording, and I was kind of sharing with you how, I grew up in Las Vegas and, I was fortunate in terms of, my mom and my stepdad had money. They weren't super rich or anything, but I mean, we were well off. And it was really all about gifts. I grew up with literally hundreds of presents under the tree. And even though I have step brothers and sisters and half brothers and sisters, I grew up in that household as the only child. I was my mom's only child, and my stepdad's kids lived with their mom. So I was really spoiled at Christmas. And as we got older, some of those, Dwayne's kids did come and spend Christmas with us, but it was always about gifts. And, my mom was lavished with the nicest things you could imagine. And I got all the stuff I wanted. And, I learned, and it wasn't an affectionate family. So let me just put that out there because it kind of sets the stage for where I'm going with this. I learned that giving gifts was the way to feel appreciated and loved because that's just what the family did that I grew up in. And, a lot of people will say how lucky, but as an adult, what that translated into is me being an over giver. I give and give and give and not in a good way. And I've worked on this. Like I just give too much sometimes because in the motivation, which has taken coaching and reflection, is because of insecurity and wanting to feel appreciated and wanting to feel acknowledged. So, I just going through my coaching, I don't feel that way about gifts anymore, but it's taken me a long time to get there. And so I love your idea about presence and your presence being the actual present. And when you're fully present and you're giving people the love that they need, you don't need all of the gifts, all the stuff. Yeah, you want gifts,
Mhm.
it's a tradition, but like overdoing it really kind of messed me up. You know
Mhm.
what I mean?
Oh yeah, yeah. You know, I would be willing to say, and I could be wrong. This is just something that just came up to me. Everything you said is amazing. It totally makes sense. But you know how they have that white elephant game or whatever, where you're passing the gifts around. I would bet to say that is the most exciting part of the Christmas um, family thing. I bet you that's the most giggles, the most laughs. I
Mhm.
would say that on the other times when it's opening the gifts, I would think that people are like, oh. that was the wrong gift. I didn't want that, or
Mm.
maybe things like that. So, would you agree? Is that a fun game?
Yeah.
Is that the
Yeah, I
game you
mean,
love?
that's what you remember.
Right.
You remember that. And one other thing, I've got a couple stories, but this is another one. As an adult, got to spend a few Christmases with my dad at Lake of the Ozarks, and so his third wife and my half brothers and sisters and her kids, and so it's a big crew of people, big crew. And the difference between the Christmases was very stark for me because as a kid, one of the, and I think this was actually kind of a good rule, we opened gifts one at a time. So it took a long time to open gifts, but everybody got to watch you open your gift. So all eyes were on you, but it was more about the person who gave the gift because they got to watch you open it because they put time and thought and energy and wanted to see your expression, right? And
Hmm.
how you felt about the gift. Whereas at my dad's, it was a free for all. When it was time to open gifts, somebody got under the tree and started handing out presents, and everybody was opening them at one time, and they didn't look at the tags, so you never knew who it was from. And that just was always so hard for me because I always put so much thought into gifts, and I would never get to catch and see, like, when somebody opened it, like that reaction. And so, I don't know what your traditions were, or, to the listeners, what they do, but those are two very different approaches. And for someone like me, I hated the fact that everybody was opening them at one time.
Right. It's just like free fall, and then it
Hmm.
just yeah. I mean, I've
Hmm.
been experienced in a lot of different things like that, and it's yeah, it's. But I think it's just important to and I'm sure that there's tons of families out there that have like their traditions, and they have this, and it's great, and it's exciting, they celebrate the real reason for the
Hmm.
season, all that stuff.
Exactly.
And which I'm not saying that I don't, obviously we do, but I'm sure there's families that have it, and they've always had that, and that's the thing, and they continue that tradition, and that's great. I don't think there's such thing as a perfect family that's having that, but we all strive to get better, and it's just funny, people talk about family. What's the greatest thing about family? When they leave, all those different things and all these different family jokes. But at the end of the day, it's just love. That's what it
Yeah.
boils down to, love.
Yeah. Back in the day, this is several years ago, my in-laws used to say, if you can come to the house and unload the dishwasher, put everything away in the right place, you've been here too long.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
That's a
right?
good one. You've been here too long.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
I
so
like
you
that.
know what, to your point, because you were talking about traditions, what's your favorite holiday family tradition or something you grew up with just loving?
Um, I used to like the Fourth of July fireworks. I liked going to the park. You know, um,
Yeah, we're talking Christmas.
oh no, you were saying what's your favorite holiday? You said
I,
family
I
holiday.
meant Christmas.
No, you didn't say what your
Yeah,
favorite
you're
tradition
right.
was.
You're right.
Yeah.
Okay, so
So,
besides 4th of July, what's your favorite Christmas tradition?
well, I've got family, all that, in, out, all that. I think it's just the phone call. Just the
Hmm.
phone call to family members that are in other states, and just saying, "Hey, Merry Christmas," or now the text. I think that tradition is is good because it's a communication. You
Hmm.
know, so I mean, my family is big, and I'm connected to some of them. Some of them are not. Some of them talk to years and all that stuff. But I just think the text or the phone call
Yeah.
is a good family tradition. Obviously we would love for it to be more, and with my immediate family it is, and stuff like that. But
Hmm. Just reconnecting.
yeah, reconnecting and all that. What about
Yeah.
you?
Well, so as I grew up and then when I got married and went on trips and things, my mom always bought ornaments around every life event. And a lot of the ornaments had little picture containers. And then I carried that forward, when I got married in 1999. And anytime we went on a trip or anything like that, I'd get an ornament from that place just as a remember. And so then every year, as you put up your tree, you're opening the ornaments and putting them on a tree and reflecting and sharing memories. So that was always a really amazing tradition for me.
Hmm.
But then, I mean, I'm going to transition a little bit, if you're okay with it, into when it's really not so pleasant, because there's a large portion of people that will be listening to this that might be in a space where it becomes not so pleasant at one point or some point, and everything
Right.
changes. And, I had a big change in my life. My mom and I, if you've read my book, Bold Moves, had a strained relationship. And it got to a point in my adult life that revisiting those memories every year was not pleasant. And it's to the point now. She passed away in May this year, and I wasn't allowed to see her, and it was really ugly. So and I don't have really much family left. So this Christmas has felt very strange. And all of the traditions I just put away. Like I get rid of all of the ornaments because I have such a bad memory now associated with them that I just don't care to look at them. And it's just completely different. So, I'm not looking for sympathy or anything like that. It's just that you grow up with these amazing traditions throughout your life, and then a life event can cause that to change. And it can be different for everybody. And so then the question becomes like, how do you navigate the holiday then?
Right.
And I put a lot of thought into this particular holiday because I really don't know what to do. Like I'm gonna go to my half brother's house for Christmas this year, on Christmas Eve, but I'm not really part of his, tight family. The only reason I'm going there this year is because they happen to be staying in town for Christmas and they invited me. So it's not part of a tradition that I'm normally included in, but I'm very appreciative that I get to go. Um, but I thought, okay, well, what am I going to do instead of kind of feeling lonely and kind of bummed about the holiday? I decorated my space, and I have been treating myself to massages, like doing some self-care, and just going out and hiking in nature, which is what I love, just to get peace in my mind around it. But I could never understand, because I had never experienced it, the like sadness around the holidays for some people. So I'm much more empathetic to that at this point, based on the life change that I've gone through. So I don't know. Have things changed for you, or at some point did they change? Have you ever experienced anything like that?
Oh, most definitely.
Mm.
I mean, I have, we all have, and I mean, you're definitely strong, and I tell you, you have the tools and the strategies to come through, make it through, like always, and that's why I enjoy hanging out with you. It's awesome, But my dad passed away, 6, 7 years ago. Those type of things. I've had lots of family members that I've lost and things, and it is a sad time around the holidays because you think about those memories, you think about the good, you think about the bad, but it's a memory.
Mhm.
And um, yeah, so I get some kind of feeling sometimes, and
Yeah.
so
Yeah. You
um,
can hear it in your voice, actually,
yeah, no,
when
I'm
you're
just thinking,
talking
I'm
about
just
it.
thinking, as you think about it, and you just go back, you think about that, and
Mhm.
I'm in a little text thread with some of my aunts and my mom, and they posted something of my grandma in there, a little picture, a little thing that she had, this little. It was like a little tray with these little reindeer, stuffed animal reindeer sticking up, and it was like a little Christmas contraption. And
Oh.
my aunt has it. My aunt still has it, and so it
Mhm.
was that. And that's I'm 49 years old, so it's old. It's
Yeah.
old.
Yeah,
So
that's really old.
that's really old. Yeah. So all those different things, but I think you think about the connection, that the meaning that the things that have happened, the meaning that you give it to, and you're like, hey, I'm going to go on a hike, I'm going to do self-care, love yourself, do those different things, and to be mindful of it all.
Mhm.
I think that's great, all the strategies you have. So that's I try to do those type of
Yeah.
things.
Well, I mean, and that really kind of goes to the whole title of the podcast, Happy on Purpose, right? You
Yeah.
happiness is within. You have to find it. And there's going to always be external circumstances. and
Right.
pressures and things that happen, but going inward at those times, first of all, being able to acknowledge them, reflect on them, and understand where it's coming from, and then give yourself the grace that it's okay to feel sad when things change because change is hard.
Mhm.
Um, but, ultimately taking your power and realizing that you can create your own happiness and your own peace in different
Exactly.
ways at different times in your life. So,
Yeah. That is true.
yeah. One other note that I have that I wanted to make sure that we kind of talked about because you and I both are of the same mindset when it comes to this, and that is giving in the form of helping other people.
Mhm.
And no matter what place you're in this time of year, um, the fact that you can volunteer or help someone in need, like my team, we didn't do a Christmas party this year for my team, which is actually a big tradition with my team. We do great Christmas parties every year, but we didn't this year because I got two moms on maternity leave and I just couldn't do it without them because I don't have a huge team. I didn't want these people missing. Instead, what we did is we adopted a family at the shelter at Citizens Against Domestic Violence. And one of my team members today went out and shopped for the family. And I gave her a budget. She went out and got, the clothes and the gifts and the gift cards and all the stuff that's going to be delivered to the family at the shelter. So giving to the extent that you can, whether it be financial, like in this case we did with CADV, but I fully understand and have been in that place before too, where you don't have the money to give, but you can always give of your time as well.
Mhm.
So I don't know. Do you volunteer around the holidays or do anything special around the
Yes.
holidays? I mean, we do it
Yes.
year round, but share a story about the holidays.
Yes, definitely doing that, whether it's, cooking, handing out stuff, whatever it might be. But you know what I've been kind of focusing on and especially around this time is I've been focused on giving compliments. I've
Mm,
just been giving compliments to people and people look at me. I'll be at the gas station, someone's like, "Hey, how you doing? Hey, oh my gosh, love your shoes," just compliment and all that stuff. And they're like, it just makes them smile. And because people are just, they have everything going on in their head. You don't know what's going on. And sometimes just that simple hello or I like this or whatever goes a long way. And you just help that person. So that's my biggest giving thing that I'm focusing on right now is
yeah.
the compliments
Yeah.
and attention.
And I love that you shared that because number one, anybody can do that. If you don't have the financial resources, you don't have the time, you are passing people every single day that you could do that for. And actually I want to share this. I sent this to one of my lifelong friends today. I'm going to be interviewing. I'm taking one of my team members, Amanda, and her wife to Las Vegas for Christmas. We're going to leave on Christmas Day and spend 4 days there because we don't really have anything to do on Christmas Day and beyond before New Year's. So, and we're going to stay with one of my other team members that I grew up with, Mark. He's got a 3-bedroom condo, so he's letting us stay there. And while I'm there, I'm going to interview his son, who is, I think, 19. I'm sorry, Mark, if I got that wrong. I think he's 19 though. Um, and he's a freshman at UNLV. And to help with some YouTube stuff.
Okay,
And
yeah.
he's on the autism spectrum, but functional and smart coder, all just amazing kid. And so he's been sending Mark like his resume because he's really prepping for this interview with me, which is just the sweetest thing ever. So I just texted Mark. I said, just a little message to let you know what an incredible man you are. I so admire and respect that about you. And like, he was just really touched by that. It was completely out of the blue, but I was just so touched that he was sending me the stuff from his son, and he was so excited that his son was, like, so into this interview and asking
Hmm.
him
Hmm.
to help him pick out ties, and I don't know, it just touched my heart so
Oh,
much.
that is
And I
amazing.
really
That is
wasn't trying to do anything with that text, it's just I felt it, and,
right.
it impacted him in such a big way. I didn't expect that. So, but the little things that you can do like that take 30 seconds. If you're feeling it, just
Oh,
stop and pick up the phone or send a voice text or, send a text. And that could be the greatest gift someone gets the
That
entire
is
season.
that is Sandy. It is always awesome doing these episodes with you. I just come away like, "Whew," I'm just like way up here. Ooh, it's so awesome,
Oh,
and it's great, and it's fun. It's helping people. It's helping ourselves. It's great, and that's what it is. And all the tools that you have out there, the books, the talks, the everything. I mean, you give, you give, you give, and I think it's great. And so I want to give you the compliment. You're
oh,
just amazing. So I'm
thank you.
definitely.
That's so kind of you to say. And I'll just push it back at you and say, I consider you one of my best friends in the world, and I choose my friends and surround myself with people who share the same values and the same drive and the same passion and the same philosophy on life. And that is you. So everything that you just said about me, I see the same in you.
Oh,
So
thank you.
I
It,
appreciate you.
you just made me think of that joke when you were talking. Choose your friends. You can pick your friends. You can pick your nose. But you can't pick your nose.
Please don't do that. We are on video.
I know. Yeah, that just came to
Uh,
my head. But anyway, we end in a smile, right?
Yeah, yeah. So, do you have anything to add? I mean, I think we touched on a lot of things, and we can wrap it up. And I think on the next episode, we're actually going to talk about resolutions, right?
Oh yeah, that wonderful word. That's going to be
Uh-huh.
exciting. So, I just want to wish everyone a safe and a happy holiday, happy all of that, everything, and
Mm.
be present, and all of those things that we went over in the podcast. So we definitely appreciate you guys, and hopefully this impacts one person, just
Yeah,
one person, and
yeah,
then it'll just make that ripple effect. So,
yeah. Whatever you celebrate, I wish you well. I wish you joy, and make sure you celebrate yourself a bit too. So, let's go live happy on purpose. I'll see you next time, Chris.
all right, thank you. See you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.